And that is the final product for our delicious green soup. Let us taste it. Up next, we have Mack and Jack's Thack. Jack is already doing a intimate fireside interview with one Silas Way.
Welcome again. This is Jack and Mack's Thack. I'm Jack, and I'm here today with Silas Weg. We are going to be discussing Charles Dickens' Our Mutual Friend, Chapter 5. Silas, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, as you see, my bibliography was written into Charles Dickens' book, and I just want to say I'm very grateful to be here. You know, I started low. I mean, bottom of the social ladder.
Right.
And I've climbed. You know, it's a success story, and that's why I'm in this book. You know, and I started out, you know, just selling things, and I was in a dark place.
You're a street vendor, right?
I was a street vendor, and I would rather protect my goods than myself, you know, with rain, anything. And I was living in front of a house, technically. I mean, I consider that my home, and I considered them part of my household.
Right.
They didn't know me, and that gets a little weird.
Yeah,
so
just a little bit.
I was very, very grateful and blessed to have this man, Boffin, just walk into my life and come up to a literary man with a wooden leg. And that's key. I'm literate first.
Okay.
You know, and he wasn't.
Okay.
And so I approach him, he approaches me. I consider it a mutual attraction type thing because we were destined to come together.
Destined.
And he wanted me to teach him how to read.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yeah, and I'm a very smart man, so I was able to get him at a very good price.
That's good.
I don't bargain, but I get the price I need.
But you get the price you need.
And
that's important.
you know, that's where my life has gone, and it's continuing to go into the right direction.
Yeah.
My wooden leg isn't holding me back anymore.
No more.
And you know, life is good, and I noticed that your juice is watered down.
Oh my gosh. Wow, you're really observant. Wow. If you want to learn more about Silas, you can read in Charles Dickens' Our Mutual Friend, Chapter 5. Again, thank you so much for being with us today, Silas.
My pleasure. You know, just see me in Chapter 7 as well.
All right. And back to you, Mac.
Silas Way.
He's an odd guy. Yeah. That was a good interview. We got some good information.
Yeah. All right, Chapter 6. So we're introduced to Miss Potterson, who is just uber headstrong Amazonite woman. She tells men, she's like...
She owns a bar, by the way.
Right, she owns the bar. And when she tells men to go home, they go home.
They go home. She says, you know, Bill, you have to go home. Your wife at your curfew. She actually says that in the book. And, you know, no hesitation. He gets up and leaves.
Even though he's completely drunk.
That's right. So we kind of see this big fatherly figure, fatherly figure to the fathers. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Now she also confronts Lizzie about a situation with her dad, Gaffer. Now, there have been rumors spread around by this guy. His name is Rider Hood, and he's actually the man on the front cover.
And Gaffer's old partner.
And Gaffer's old partner, we find out, which is a very interesting twist to the book. So we don't find anything else about him other than he's his partner. He's a shady character, but he does say that he hints that Gaffer has been killing the bodies before he throws them into the river.
Which would kind of make sense, but from our perspective, it doesn't seem like that's going on.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's very realistic, but you know, we'll see how that plays out. So Mrs. Potterson talks to Potterman. Sorry, is it Potterson? Potterson. She talks to Lizzie, and Lizzie decides to go home and talk to Charlie. You want to take that one?
Well, and I thought before we move on to that, it's just interesting that even though it's not that amazing of a pub, she won't tolerate any scandal involving like in the tenants of the pub. So it's pretty interesting that way. But with
no, it's ironic though because it's a pub, you know, and that's where scandals and things do happen. And so for the
where they're tolerated.
Club, yeah, it's really.
But with Lizzie and Charlie.
Okay, so Lizzie and Charlie. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulties. Silas Weg actually fell down. Hopefully he's okay.
How did he lose his leg, by the way?
I don't know. It just says it was an accident.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Charlie and Lizzie.
Okay.
It's really interesting because Lizzie goes to Charlie. She gets all the money she can, and she just says, "Hey, look, you need to go get a good education."
Right.
And so he's like, "I guess I have to."
Right.
And then when Lizzie tells her dad, he gets insulted, like Charlie's betraying him.
Right.
And so he feels like he needs to do the same thing, so he disowns Charlie, which is not like
Yeah.
no father should do that.
No, yeah, when he talks about disowning, actually on page 81, it says about the third paragraph down, let him never come and nigh me to ask for me my forgiveness. Let him never come within the sight of my eyes, nor yet within the reach of my arm. His own father ain't good enough for him. He's disowned his own father. His own father, therefore, disowns him forever and ever as an unnatural young beggar. It's interesting how he uses unnatural young beggar, I think it's 4 times, to describe his son.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a sad situation, but I think it was in Charlie's best interest to leave, and I think Lizzie acknowledged that as well and told him to leave.
Agreed.
So,
We'll move on to chapter 7 after this.
here we go. Welcome back. We'd like to take a minute and thank our sponsors. Again, Gaffer's Black Cherry Juice. Let's dive into chapter 7. Mack?
All right, in chapter 7, we are introduced to a very shady character named Mr. Venus, who seems to just be a pawnbroker in dead body parts. He's got mummified babies, legs, rats, you name it. It's pretty sketchy, and Silas Wegg is kind of disturbed about it, which
Yeah,
he should be.
it's kind of weird. Mr. Hi.
Well, I was coming over here to give you guys a present, and I heard you kind of talking bad about my friend.
Oh, sorry.
He's not weird. He's heartbroken.
Mr. Venus is heartbroken.
Okay. Yeah, he's heartbroken.
Alright, thank you for
I
clarifying
would
that.
appreciate it if
Yeah.
you would kind of keep things a little nicer
Okay.
to him.
Yeah, of course.
But here's my leg.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Silas Wegg.
Silas
Alright.
Wegg for you.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Anything more on chapter 7, Mac?
I think that's the best highlights of it, so we'll move on to chapter 8.
Let's move on. Cut.